How's it going, everybody? Sean with Carpet Cleaner Training, and I'm going to do something a little different today. We're going to do a product review. So this is something I can nearly guarantee that nobody has seen. So let's take a look at it. So what do you guys think that is? What is this thing? This has been needed in the industry for a long time, and I'm sure you guys have seen something similar to this. Not this particular one. So it's a round design rather than a square. We all know what a water claw is. So this is what's it's got spot vac on it, and you may have seen this part of it. What you haven't seen is this part of it. So this is made by Dennis Perlstein and Paul, Campos. Sorry if I screwed that name up. Dennis was the original designer of the water claw, the old square version of water claw in all multiple sizes that we all know. That has since been sold. This is a new design. So they went to the drawing board and redesigned the whole system. And then when I talked to Paul on the phone, I was asking, okay, where was why make this? And first of all, what is this? So let's just kind of take this off so it show you exactly what it is. This is just a cover. All right, so put that aside, and what we have is an arrow tip here, and I don't know if this will show up on camera or not, some laser cut holes along the side of this. And what that does, it's going to shoot or fire water out from this tube. So what we do is we drive this arrow tip into the carpet underneath, and then pull the trigger, and what's going to happen is this is all going to fill with water. So this whole area, water is going to shoot out, and then we're going to bottom flush whatever we're cleaning, whether it be urine or whether it be anything that's down in there. We've dealt with sugars or blood or anything that you have trouble getting out because it's soaked into the carpet. That's what this is for. I talked to Paul and say, what is the brainchild behind this? And he says, there's never been an intelligent, efficient way of getting water underneath. We've all tried to, dump the bucket on top and then stick the water claw down on top, and then bucket on top, water claw. And we all know it just doesn't work that great. So you dump it in there, you end up getting this giant water spot that you then have to water claw. It's 3 times as big as you actually need it. This is very directed flow, so we're able to get down in there, and once it's under the carpet, I have some video that I'm going to show you guys on demo of the product itself, and then you're able to move it. So you can move it around, you can pull it back, you can get a pretty large area, you shove it all the way in and go around. So you can get a big area that's from one puncture on the carpet. And you pull this out and you can't notice any hole at all. Upon talking to Paul, he said the hardest thing about making this was getting these laser holes cut. There's a lot of places that he tried that couldn't do it. Finally got it and figured out how to cut those and do it efficiently. The only drawback that I found on this, they've tried to solve it by shortening this tube. So if you run employees, what could happen on this is this gets bent. This is strong. It's not easily bent, but where it's pinched here, it does create a little bit of a weak point right here. So if you're running employees, make sure that they know I drive from here, I hold it here, then I stick it in, and then I push from there. So you don't want to just step up here and try to stick it in that way, because you're going to bend it. Hold it here, stick it in, and then once it's in, it's all trigger. So you hook it into your hose and it's all trigger. You're in total control of this, and I'll show you the amount of flow that you're going to get on it as well. So it does work excellent. One thing, when you are using it, it's designed to go, as one of the things I covered with him, it's designed to go all the way to the concrete under the pad, so we can actually flush pad. We all know that's necessary when dealing with urine and stuff of that nature. If you are dealing with something that's more on the top, like maybe blood, and I've got 2 that I'm going to show you that I demoed this with blood. If you only need to go to the surface level of the carpet, you can go in between the padding and the carpet, and I've done that as well. And that will take care of what you really need with blood. It doesn't really go that low. It's not all the way to the base of the padding. It's really just a little bit into the padding and mostly up in that carpet level. So you can go either way on that. These fire down, So one thing you need to watch out for when you're on the concrete level is don't just be on this trigger and hold it down. You want to get this here and just feather it a couple times. Just give it a little bit of water, wait for it to come through here, and then you can apply more. Being that these are shooting down, it's going to cover that concrete down there and then be sucked up. So what you don't want to do is just be on the trigger and you're going to end up with a giant puddle of water under there before this has primed. Basically, you're going to get that surface tension broken, and you're going to break through the padding, and then it's going to have a flow through, and you'll have a really good efficient way to rinse it through the pad and get all the contaminants out of the pad that you're most concerned with anyway. All right, so that's it for kind of just showing you the product. We're going to go straight into the demo. I've got two demos. I'm going to show you one that went underneath the padding and one was more on top. Same result both times, but let's go ahead and go to the video. Real quick before I get into the video portion of this, I want to shout out to Ethan at Cleanco. Is where I got this product from for testing. He was willing to let me have it for an indefinite period of time just to let me test it and get a decent review together for the product. Also, he wanted to offer any of my viewers a 15% off coupon for not only the product we're talking about today, but all of his products. I thought that was super generous of him. So reach out to Ethan, give him some love, buy some product, get an awesome discount, 15% off of anything in his store, just for being a viewer of Carpet Cleaner Training. So again, reach out to Ethan, give him some love, and let him know you saw him at Carpet Cleaner Training. So those links will be in the description below. Go ahead and click into Cleanco Solutions and enjoy that discount. And here we go into the video. All right, so here's the pre-treatment step. We're getting into this spot. This is where their dog had passed away in the night and had bled off of his bed onto the carpet. So we're using a pre-treatment, enzyme pre-treatment, cold, and pre-treating that, and then tamping it with this. I love this brush. It's just a regular car wash brush, but it works really good for this kind of stuff where you're tamping it. Gives you a lot more leverage than a small brush. And here I'm just dumping a little bit more on there. This soaked overnight, so I know it's deep. I just give it a little bit of a scrub. I don't usually do too much scrubbing. You don't want to disturb the fibers of the carpet, but I do scrub it a little bit just to kind of drive it down in there. But really, tamping really does the job super well. So tamping is your best friend. And then once we get done tamping here, we're going to subsurface extract this with the spot flush tool. So when you're doing this, just keep at it until, because an enzyme will break it down, so keep at it until it more or less disappears on you. You want the blood to be completely dissolved and digested by the enzymes, or in midst of digesting the enzymes. All right, so now we got the tool here, and that is a replaceable arrow tip. So you can actually just buy an arrow tip from the store and replace that. Now on this job, I went completely under the padding and the carpet. So I am concrete level. This is a concrete subfloor, so I'm all the way in contact with the concrete. Just slide that on there, turn the water on, and you're live. And then all you have to do is pull that trigger and it goes. So here we're starting the extraction, and I'm giving it water right there, and you can see it immediately pulls it up. So the problem I had here is I was using too much water and I was at concrete level. So this is the first time I used this unit, and I had no idea how exactly it was going to work until I got into it. But what I learned is if you're on concrete level, do not hold that trigger continuously. You want to prime it first, get that suction going through into the water claw or the spot vac, and then go from there. There's the hole that it leaves, and it just really does just disappear. Just use your thumb, kind of work it around, and it's gone. You won't have any issues with that at all. And here's a good view of close-up on how that spot vac works. So that outer chamber pressurizes the whole thing, and all that water just comes right out. Really is a cool design. I like what they did with it. It works extremely well to dry that carpet. Here's another view of that, just to kind of show you exactly how that works. All right, so here is exactly how much water you're putting down under there. I was running about 500 psi, but you can see it is a lot of water. So make sure you're ready for that amount of water. Now here is spot number 2. Same thing. Blood, it was just easy for me to show exactly how this is working. This is the video that shows the whole process from start to finish. So this one was a gentleman that fell and hit his head on the corner of a glass table and bled. I don't know how much blood that is, but it's a significant amount. Typically with blood I'd use gloves, but I'm not touching this blood. I'm just getting, with the wand it's kind of nice. You don't really have to get in there too hard and get to where you're going to be touching it or anything like that. Now here I went on top of the padding. So I wanted to try something different and see how it would work on top rather than going from below. So you're going to use the below method for sure with urine because you have to flush the pad. But in here, I wanted to go on top because the blood is really viscose. You can see how I can turn that and hit that whole area. This is a fairly large area. So I was able to do one insert and hit this entire blood contamination area without reinserting it again. So just know you can insert this and move it for quite a big area. You can move it in and out and get through that whole area, so you don't have to constantly reinsert it to move it around. It will cover a large area. So here we're doing the same thing with a little bit smaller brush, just tamping it and getting that all down in there. Now this one, there was a lot more blood. This one, I don't know how much he bled out, but it was a lot. Now you can see here it instantly pulling that red out. Now you'll see here it'll peek out and you'll see how much it actually removed just with that initial flush. And it is impressive how this machine can work. So you saw that peek up a little bit where you can see that it was perfectly clean underneath that spot. And that's just flushing that water out. You can see there as I go around this, it's going to completely flush that out of the carpet. On this particular job, this is all that it needed. I had no need to go back and do any residual. If you've ever cleaned blood in the past and you maybe miss a little spot or don't quite get it out all the way, you'll know that it comes back. Blood typically will get down inside in the backing on top of the pad, and if you're not flushing it out in this manner, it's very difficult to get it completely out to where you're not going to have any resurfacing issues. But with this, with all that water, and you saw how much water that was pushing out, with all that water flushing up through the back of the carpet, it was removing that blood 100%. And I did test that. I used an oxidizer afterwards just to verify that I was getting all the blood out. So if you've dealt with blood in the past, you'll know that if an oxidizer comes in contact with blood, it's going to foam up. So to check the results after the job was done, after I thought, okay, I have all this blood out, I sprayed it with an oxidizer just to verify not one bit of foam or reaction at all with any of it. Now you'll see as I'm going here that I'll stay on the trigger a little bit and then I'll let go and suck all that water out. This is going to avoid spreading it out too far. You want to make sure that as you're applying that trigger, and this is what I learned from the first job, don't stay on the trigger too long because that's a lot of water. So you need to make sure that you're getting it all up, or else it's going to spread to an outside area. It's going to keep going out further and further, and you could have more issues. So this was the second job. I was just training on how to use the machine to my employee there, and just kind of walking through, hey, do we like this unit? Is this something that we would use? And it really depends on your business. You might have a lot of areas that are urine contamination and you would use it a lot. But if you're doing a lot of clean homes and not a lot of pet owners, not a lot of spots and spills, you may not use it as much. It's not a cheap unit. We're looking in the I believe upper sixes to $700 for the unit. Don't forget you can get 15% off. I did not do the math on that. I'll put it up here. But if your business needs something like this, this is going to be a great addition. You'll be able to get that urine out of the carpet, out of the pad, without removing padding many times, or have to resort to injecting molecular modifiers and injecting deodorizers into the pad, where with this we can literally inject the chemical, and that's not something I have covered yet. They have a kit that you can get with this unit where you will actually run the water from your truck mount or your portable through the system and inject deodorizers, basically whatever cleaning product you want to use, you can inject it directly into the unit. So you'll actually be spraying out your deodorizers, you'll be spraying out your pre-treatments in through the system itself. So imagine getting the deodorizers that you're using directly into the pad that you're rinsing out. That's something that was unheard of. You couldn't really do it other than dumping a bucket of deodorizer and then letting it sit in the water, clawing it out. With this method, we can actually inject underneath the pad your deodorizers, your oxidizers, whatever you're using. You can inject that in through the system, and it's going to pump your deodorizers straight out through that wand tip. And that's something that we never had the ability to do, at least not efficiently. But their kits are amazing. They have some really cool stuff coming out. The kit that I talked to Paul about, he's going to have a dual bottle kit. Basically, it's going to be a small little tote that has a couple of bottles that have your deodorizers, maybe your pre-treatments in there already. So you use whatever product you want, fill it up, and it's going to mix it at a particular dilution. I believe it's going to be similar to a Hydroforce Revolution, where you can dial up your particular dilution that you want. So if you want it to be 8-to-1, you can leave it 8-to-1. If you want it to be a little bit lower or a little bit higher, you'll be able to do that. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I understood, that we're going to have something along the lines of that. You'll see I need a new female fitting there because that one is leaking quite a bit. But as you can see, as I've been working on this, it does take some time, and I think that just goes with any kind of spotting that is this down inside the carpet. You're going to have to spend some time getting this out. But definitely you can do it, and it actually works extremely well. Now what I did here is I got 80-90%, and then I hit it with the cold enzyme once again, and that's going to get this residual out. And then what I did after that is I just tamped it a little bit more, and then continued the subsurface extraction or flushing action to get the rest of it out. So you can see here, and you don't have to be careful with it. You could just put it in there hard to see. Now when I started tamping, you can tell, yeah, there's more blood in there. So I didn't quite get it all in that first flush, and you couldn't really tell until you retreat it. Now you see that center area that was white when I first did it, that is gone. This tells you where a lot of that blood sat and got really deep. So it's ingrained in those fibers, and you have to continue to flush it out. So here I just kind of sped it up so you don't have to see the whole length of the deal, of the job. But here I go, just working around that outer perimeter, which is really where those spots really were ingrained in there, and make sure it's rinsed right, completely out. The red bottle there, that's the oxidizer. I use a urine stain remover from Pro's Choice. That's what's in that bottle. And after I was completely done, if there was any red or anything that was still there, you can see towards the bottom there was a little bit. Alright, so that's it for this video. I want to reach out and thank Ethan with CleanCo and just say, hey man, thanks a lot for sponsoring this video. And hey, all my followers, make sure you're hitting him up online, visit the website, see what he's got for you, take advantage of the discounts that he offers to us. and his stuff's just priced well as it is. There's a lot of expensive product out there, and Ethan tries to keep those prices at a reasonable level and take care of his customers. So thanks, Ethan, and I'll see you guys in the next video.